Hey, how you doing? Whew. So, whole lot of steps just to get this thing to record the score and for a moment freeze the ball until when the game stops. So we have a winner. Game is over. A few little UI messages. Now, let's see how we're doing over here. Let's have a go. Looking for Renan. I'm sure I seen him earlier. He's not here. Cowboy. Cowboy. No cowboy. Dang. Yeah. Yeah, you know, you can start. You can start if you want. I'm just gonna go through it as well. But yeah, whenever you want. If you have Pong, get into it. Better. Nobody's yes. Sardar, yes. 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 Pablo, yes. Berman. Patterson. Okay. So first thing we're going to do is just reset the ball's position. When it hits the back wall, it's not going to rebound. It's going to disappear and reappear in the center of the game. We're also going to record score as it hits either side of the wall as well. Makes just respawn, change its position the second it touches. So we're basically going to copy our syntax, our construction of our if statement. And instead, we're going to look for the name of wall right and wall left. Hopefully your names are named that way. So yes, I have wall left, do that one, and wall right, the other one. No, we don't have to go by names. You could use tags, but you need to make a tag for the left goal and the right goal. It might be easier to do that because you could apply it to more things, record the score. So I'm going to do both. I'm going to give a tag of wall left and have it the name of wall left, just to do both. So for each wall, I'm going to add a tag. Right now I have no tags in this game. So I'm going to make, I'll say goal left. Oh dear, what's happening? Goal left. I'll add goal right as tags. And then I'm going to tag goal left as this wall left over here. It just means I can tag more things later that we hit and get score. And I'll tag wall right as goal right. Slight modification to the tutorial, but maybe help us later on. So I've only created these tags, they haven't been added to anything. You might think once you create it, it adds automatically. It doesn't. So go back. Wall is still untagged. Goal left. Yeah. Why can't I zoom up here? Sorry, it's the untagged bit up here. I can't seem to zoom on this moment. And then you add tags there. So you have the default ones, which are player and game controller. Yeah, you gotta. Yeah. Anyway, wall right will be goal right. Oh, now you work. Interesting. Red for right, and lime for left. So, back in the script now. I've got my tags ready to go. I'm going to open the ball script. And I can just take the construction of racket right, copy it, and paste it. I'll give it a bit of space. And we don't really need all of this hit factor stuff because it's just, yeah, it's just going to hit it and disappear. Oh wait, maybe we do. No, we do. Sorry, we do. Because it's going to reappear in the air, right? No, wait, we do. It depends what we want to do. If we want it to maintain that velocity it had, then we'll add this. For now, I'm just going to comment it out. No, you know what? Remove it. Tag. Go left. Go right. And then we just set the transform position of the ball to somewhere in the center of the screen, which is just transform position because this is on the ball. Equals, we could say, vector 2, 0. Oh, I have autocomplete. And that'll put it at 0, 0. It's just the same as writing a new vector 2. So exact same as writing new vector 2, 0, 0. Shortcut is vector 2, 0. Maybe you don't want it to appear right in the center of the screen. You want it to be a little bit over on one side of the line or the other. In Pong, I believe it puts it, if you score on one side, so let's say this ball comes in and it scores right here. That's a score against this player. So that means you put the ball back on his side, like you'd put it back about here, but it would be traveling this direction. That's a way Pong is usually set up. But we could just put it straight in the center and see how that functions. It's just going to appear right in the center and keep moving the second it touches. Thank you. Everybody sign this great piece of paper. Cool. Cool. Did we test and did it work? Okay, so if my tags are set up correctly, this should now appear in the center. So every time it touches the ball, it resets its position. And it seems to be mirroring the angle. So we can make changes to that. We can change where it spawns from. We could do the direction thing to make sure it always travels straight. But this is functional for now. It's doing what we need. 0, 0, 0. Pardon? Yep. Yeah, all on the same keyboard. So arrow keys and then WASD. Next part, we'll be adding our UI. So in the tutorial, I actually put it 5 units away from the center on the X, or and 5 units forward on the other. That's just to do that separation, but it's extra stuff. We don't really need it. What we need next is our canvas. I think we did a short bit of the UI canvas before. And to create the canvas, we just need to make one UI object, and then the canvas and the event system will be created with it. So I can just add a new canvas object, UI. It could be an image, it could be a panel, a button. I'm going to go with the legacy text. Yeah. Canvas is right there. We could just create the canvas. I'm trying to zoom. It's not letting me. Well, anyway, legacy text is the one I'm adding. Actually, I can just go here, right? Okay, you can just create a canvas. I'm going to make the legacy text, as I keep trying to do. Canvas text legacy is what I've added. So I just added this one text object, and the rest was created. Double click to focus on the text or the canvas. And you see that is the size of our canvas, mapping to whatever screen size. We can move our text where we want it to be on the screen. I'll just change its color to white. If you look in your game window, you should see where the text is going to be on screen. Yeah, you want to have your canvas selected. Just double click on it, and then I'm using the rect tool here to move things around. Just click and move. And make sure you should be in 2D mode because it's a game, but make sure that's checked as well. Just make it easier. So it's always going to be relative to where this thing is on screen. I'll make the font size a bit bigger, say 32. Oh yes, and I've made it so big that the text box isn't big enough for it. So be wary. You make your font bigger. It looks like it's gone. Just resize that box until you can see it. And there it is on screen. Now it's inside of the map. Maybe you want it there. I don't know. This also helps us preview what our text is going to look like. If we're going to have player one score or just player one or P1 and then a number. Or you could just have 1 and 2. Decide where you're going to put it. Now, the next thing is about anchors. We have looked at this already, but you notice as I resize my window, that'll be like a screens of different sizes. My player one is moving, but it's moving in relation to the center anchor, which means if the screen is small enough, then the score will be off screen. We don't want that. We want this to live in that top left corner. So really, we want to anchor it to the top left corner, so no matter what size we get, it's always going to be close to that corner. It'll never be off screen. So for that, we need to look at anchors. Bless you. Gesundheit. Anchors. Right now, it's in the center, locked off. All we have to do is put it in the top left. It's going to be anchored there. All of these red ones will anchor it, but won't stretch it. All of the blue ones do stretch. So it depends on what you're trying to do. If it's a panel or it's an image, a background image that you want to stretch with the screen, you probably use four corner stretch. Like this. Where? So if you have it selected in your inspector, you've got this middle center thing right here, your text legacy, and you can anchor it. You can do that with all UI elements as well. And very important to set them. So once I reset this, so you click on that, and then you see middle. If I go top left. So now I resize my screen, and that player one is sticking in that corner. And then for our other score, we do the top right. Let me give this a name. P1 score. And yeah, you don't need to resize your canvas. Just going to reiterate that. It always maps automatically to your game camera's four corners. So it's huge because it's preparing for lots of different screen sizes. I had to kind of abstract it away. All in the tutorial. Yes. Okay, back to the ball script, and we'll record some score as we're hitting these walls. So I want some static variables because I want them to be accessible between different scripts, but I only want this script to change them. So public static, we'll use whole numbers, and int, p1 score equals 0. Yeah, well, no, you could start with, but that's just the default value. If you wanted to start the game and you have 1 point, sure. It doesn't have to start with 0. And I'm doing one for player 2 as well. Static int player 2 score is 0. It also means in other scripts you can't have a value called P1 score because this is the global static value. Anyway. Yes. So Yeah, that's where it gets a bit confusing because it's like this is player one score that goes to player two score. When it hits this, it's a him.
How you see the letter player one in the game when you're playing game when you're playing
Mhm.
you can how you hold the letters player one. For example, you add the canvas and text
Oh yeah,
and how you can show that in the game.
sure, sure. So what we did is in the inspector, you have your text object, text
Yeah.
legacy. Yeah, I renamed that to P1 score, but it said text legacy. In order to get to save the score, again in the inspector where it says text right here, just write whatever you want. There is your personal Pong score, Bergman. So whatever you write in here, you have 1 million, no, 10 million and one. And then in the game, it's just going to update like that. So whatever you write here is preview, but that's not going to matter because we're going to update that text value through script as we go.
I do that, but I can see nothing in the.
Now, no, not just that. Is your text box too small? Because if it's too small,
No, they're bigger.
your box, the box,
Yeah,
bigger.
as well.
All right. I gotta go over.
You know what you can do? Instead of displaying not player one and player two, you can just
Oh yes, glad. You were right. Ah, now, what you've done is you dragged it outside of the canvas. So see the way you're putting it in the world? That's not where the UI lives in the canvas. This, that is your screen. So you want to put it in the top right hand corner and you put it here. This no.
pues sigue por un juego casi igual. No, yo después yo te lo enseño y
We can remove everything.
No.
porque no tengo
No,
el
you
juego.
moved the wrong thing. All right.
Because
I think that is
ya no puedo
the.
cargarlo.
That's the game camera.
Como que estoy cargando.
This is the canvas, the
Tiene
UI.
relativo.
So all of your UI stays here. It doesn't go anywhere near there. You don't need to make things smaller. Oh, hang on. Hmm. Add another text object. There it is. That one appears. Forget about that. We're going to put that in the scene as a cube on the canvas. The canvas is like it projects it onto the screen. You don't have to make things all down here, all over the canvas. Again, there, move that thing over. Center, it's in the center of that screen. Can we open the windows? Please? All of them? Want to break it? Accidentally break it?
Zero.
Hey, this is really big for a file, because I were like until 30 minutes.
570 megabytes isn't that big anymore.
It is
I'm
actually.
afraid.
500 megabytes? We were 45 minutes waiting.
That's a malware. That's a malware.
I don't know what to say.
It's a
You should have
malware.
turned up last week.
Uh,
This
No, it's close.
No, but does it? A little bit. Can you just a little bit more? There you go. You'll be fresh. Oh, Miri, it's fine. It's fine. Don't break the window. I was joking. Yep.
Ah, no, tienes que descargar todo todo el archivo. Porque tiene las imágenes.
Ah, bueno.
Se pone así.
No, if it's not in game, it looks like
¿Cuándo?
start seleccionando. You see anything? You see the scale at the top? You bring that up to 1.
No, pesa más que. Pesa más que.
No, a ver, igual. Which means you did nothing wrong.
I don't have space. Chami,
Yo.
I got an idea. Instead of displaying player one and player two,
I have another question.
No, wait. I want to hear his idea.
it can only show the scores like this left player is gonna be the score and right player is gonna be the score. It's gonna be 1, 2.
Oh, just the number.
Yeah, just the number.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's gonna be better.
Well, if that's what you want, then we just have to size up for up to like 2 digits because it's only going to go to 21. There. Then that would be just fine.
Yeah.
Game 0-1.
And the other one is gonna be.
Up to you, Bergman. You're the question.
Why my ball when I am playing, they are going more slow every time. Example, they pushing the another player, but they went that slow.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Does her ball have? Let's see your ball. Let me see what properties it has. It's got a box collider. It's got a new physics material, 2 new physics materials, and mass distortion. But yeah, let's remove the one. No. The physics material. Let's remove that.
Se está portando peor, Carlitos.
No.
¿Por qué no fuiste con él?
Oh yeah.
Que odio a los chinos. Todo lo que tenga que ver con China. You win, Tom? Cada vez te pareces más a... ¿A mí? No.
Interesting one. Why is the half in the form?
¿Es cierto?
Let's know where it is. Es colombianamente description. What about your physics material? Let's look at
A ver, tiene un parecido a Carlitos, ¿eh? Igual es boliviano.
That's why.
Por eso viene con la chaqueta.
Because it's boliviano. One has full bounciness. So it'll be full.
Por ahora no.
Each time another half of the force comes.
Pero está hablando con el cruzado.
Great. Let's get there, dude.
Come on.
Okie doke. We're all back. We're all in. Let's add something to actually change the score. We have. We were starting doing that, yeah. Our static int P1 score, our static int P2 score. Player 1 is on the left, which means if we hit goal right, his score goes up. Yes? Player 2 is on the right, so if we hit goal left, his score goes up.
You mean if it touch the.
No, you're gonna. No, fun. What are you gonna say? If it touch, yeah.
You said if the ball goes right, it's gonna be point for the player number 2, right?
No.
Or player number
No, that's the exact opposite. I knew I should have stopped you.
Yeah, yeah.
If it hits the goal on the left, player 2 gets the score because the left side is player 1's. Yeah. So, ergo, vis-a-vis, concordantly, P2 score. We can equal it to P2 score plus whatever value, plus 10. Not PS2. And that will add 10 at a time because I'm explaining something. That's why. That will add 10 on every single time it hits that. And we can do a debug. And then we can do the same but opposite. For goal right, player 1 score equals player 1 score plus 10. Player 1 scored another plus player 1 score. Do we need to do a 2 string there actually? No, it's fine for debug. If you have the script, test it. It should reset and you should get a debug in the console to tell you that they're adding more score. Okay, I hit that wall. Bam, player 1 scored another 10. I paused it, but you can see we got our first 10. Player 2 scored 10, and then the score went up to 20. If I leave it going, I'll try and, yeah, I'll let player 2 lose as much as possible.
How can we do it when one of the scores, the ball starts from the center but it stays put?
Yeah.
Put,
Yeah. Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. We are going to do that, yeah. So once we get to a certain point, but you can see it's adding up 10 by 10 by 10. And that's just because I said player 1 score plus 10. You can pick any number. So different pickups, collectibles in your world, you want to give them more value. You say, oh, this is the super point plus 100, something like that. Since we only wanted to go one at a time, we could just say plus 1, which is also the same as the shorthand P2 score plus plus. Onward. Here we go. Debug. Beautiful. UI time. Okay. All right. The rest of our UI, obviously, we're going to need a player 2 score. So I can just duplicate that. Control D. And as I do a resize of the screen, you can see that number 2 is getting left behind because I duplicated it and it's anchored to this corner. We need it to be anchored to the other corner over here. So always a good way to check your UI, just resize your screen and see, oh, if it's outside of the canvas, that means it's going to be off screen. It's going to be out of the game. If I change that anchor from top left up here, because obviously we want it in top right, just switch it over. Top right. And now I resize, and that number 2 sticking with me. Yep. All good. One other UI element, a little winning message. So we can just add another text element. I'm just going to duplicate the P2 score. Call it win, win, winner. There we go. The winning message will probably have to be a bit bigger. So we can actually preview what it is we're going to say. You, the player who, I don't know, player one is winner. Hooray. There we go. Winning message. Center of screen. Center, center. How will that look on the game, though? Ooh. We might need to put a panel behind this. Yeah. Or I'll just put it up at the top. Yeah, I think that's. Yeah. Winner, hooray. Yes. Very easy. Just download any font that you want from anywhere and bring it into Unity. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. What's your favorite font?
The robot or something like that.
Roboto. Get out of business, dude.
Yeah. No, for my last game, I did, but I didn't know where to locate the font.
Oh, Google Fonts is good. Or Dafont. Yo, this Dafont. Hey, Daily Bubble. You like this one? Too late. Here's our font I just downloaded. Extract all to Daily Bubble. There's Daily Bubble. Let's import it into Unity by just draggy dropping.
But what folder?
Any folder in Unity. So your assets folder in the Unity. So you know how to find your assets folder? You just right click, show in Explorer. There it is. Assets. You can just drop it in there. Or you can do asset import. I just.
It's better to create one font asset in asset or just there?
But you have to bring it into assets.
Yeah, but inside to assets doesn't matter.
Yeah, no, either way, it's doing the same thing. Anyway, there's a font.
Okay.
And now I can go back to my thing here, and where it says font, got a little dot, Arial. Couldn't be easier to get new fonts. Just drag it in, Daily Bubble. I like it actually. It's a good font. Daily Bubble. Daily Bubble. Now, because it's a different font, obviously I have to make these things bigger. I can't read it with that small text box. So you need to be aware of that. Now, one final check on our canvas stuff. You can see the winning message is anchored to the left of the screen. I want it anchored to the center. So again, winning message, I'm going to anchor to my center. I might even make it stretch. Would that be crazy? Center stretch. And then it can repurpose on smaller screens. It can actually resize. Or you can just choose center. Anchor center, and it won't resize the text box, depending on what you need to do. So yeah, only when there's a winner. So it's going to say player one or player two is winner. No, it's going to be the same one. And then, depending on who wins, we're going to code that one text. object. So anyway, if you anchor the wind to the center, you'll see it stays there in the center, which is fine unless you have a very small screen, and then we're left with crazy overlap. If we change that to stretch, we have our other problems. The blue ones are stretch. So this means it's gonna go on to the next line and fit it in. Maybe better, maybe worse. Actually worked out pretty well. So I'm gonna leave it on stretch. Whew. Have I said save your work in a while? Save your work. Control S is your friend. Ooh, next script, UI Manager. So a new script, I'm going to add this. You can add this to any object. I'm going to add it to the canvas, as is my tradition. A new script. UI Manager. And just create an ad. All right. Compiled. Great. I'm going to make a scripts folder actually. Hey. I put it on the canvas so it'll run in the scene, but it can be on an empty otherwise. It doesn't really matter. The canvas is always going to be there. Okay, first thing, we're using UI elements, so we need to add a using line at the top of this script, UI Manager. So using Unity Engine, I'll just copy this one. .ui to access the UI components. That's at the top of the UI Manager script. Perfect. So save that, and we're going to add 3 variables, and they're going to refer to our text objects, happily called a text, public text, P1 score. Oh, and it knows what I'm going to do next. Tab, P2 score. It thinks I have a P3 score. I don't, but I do have a winner. Stuck in your head? Hey down, and when you honey. It's a great song. Let's be honest. Do not run you. Yeah, me either. We get outside and we're like Hanson t-shirts. Yeah. Say you know, down, down. We've done that. We've done this. We need this. Need to get components. Bit of a long line. And what we're doing here, we're getting our win text, and at the start of the game, we're setting it to have nothing in it. So at the game start, it's going to be blank, a couple of spaces, and then when the game wins, we'll put a line in there. Oh, there's a way we could simplify this whole script. Damn. We just put that in a variable. That's what we call it. Oh, never mind. Try it afterwards. Okay. Winner dot get components. Oops. UI. Unity Engine UI text. Text. Okay. Open and close parentheses in case it takes a method. Lowercase text equals. And we just put a space in there to make it blank. And then one last thing, and we'll take our break, our coffee break. We're just going to make sure this works. So back in Unity, we should have 3 variables, slots, empty slots. We need to load in our winning text to the winner slot, and then this should work. I'll bring the script back in a moment. So on my canvas, which is where I put the script, there we are, 3 scripts right here. Winning text says none. I obviously want to grab my winner text from over here and bring it in. I can use my selector dot winner. And now it says I've already have player 1 is winner, hooray. When I press play, that should disappear entirely. Yay, it's gone. We can further test it just by putting a bit of text and say, oh, this UI is working. with script. Script. There we go. And now when I press start, it's going to put that in there, and that's basically the method we're going to use to display messages. How you can talk to your audience, you can change that text every time. This UI is working with scripts. See? Perfect.